In this video, we are going to explore the genius music production techniques behind the critically acclaimed and #1 album, My Turn by Lil Baby. My Turn was released in 2020, debuted at #1 on the Billboard Top 200, and has been going crazy ever since. It set the record for the album with the most consecutive weeks on the top hip hop and R&B charts. This album's flows, beats, and melodies have inspired so many artists and producers, including me. I made my first loop kit based off of the sound of My Turn. And today, we are going to analyze some of the music production techniques that make this album so addicting. Let's get into it. The first principle we will explore is simplicity. Most of the standout tracks on My Turn had simple melodies and simple drum patterns. Let's take Lowdown, for example, produced by Quay Global, which recently has become popular in 2024 due to a resurgence on TikTok. So the melody for Lowdown starts with a simple piano, which sounds like this. It's simply a minor chord, and then that chord, the middle taken out, and then this top part just being brought down 2 semitones. Or you could say this part going up 2 semitones. Either way, that A is no longer there, and neither is that F sharp. This part repeats throughout the whole song on higher octaves and lower octaves. The next melody that we have in Lowdown is this synth sounding, kind of bell sounding sound that just repeats over and over again. Then it goes to a higher octave. This sound specifically is from my Wave Creator Melodic MIDI collection. Yes, I have one-shots accents in the MIDI collection. I'm coming like that. The last sound that we have in this song is a pad. It repeats that same loop over and over again. Da, 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 da. So this is what I mean when I say simplicity. There's a lot of space for the artist to do their thing. The last thing that we're going to go over is the drums. So with the drums, we have a simple hi-hat pattern, a simple clap snare that just plays. But I want to focus on the 808 for a second. So on this 808 pattern, we're starting on D sharp. And then in the second half of the 808 pattern, we go down 1, 2, 3, 4. And that gives it that, kind of 4PF progression sound, as some might say. And then after we go down 4, we come down 1, 2, 3. And then we go up octave, what gives it even more variation. And then we come back down right under where we would come back to. So it almost sets it up for us to want to come back to that D. That is our whole beat. Let's see what it sounds like. The next principle we're going to explore is sound selection. In many of the standout songs on My Turn, the sound selection was simply a piano and a vocal. In songs like Whoa, you hear that? And in songs like We Paid. By having so many songs on the album with this type of formula, it gave the album a cohesive feel, like all of these songs are related. Let's make something using this type of formula. So starting off with the melody, I have a piano here. Now what I wanted to do was give it that Whoa kind of feel, so I just went dun, 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 just going up, boom, 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 boom. And as you can see, I am using that principle of just repeating that same one bar over and over again. Now what's giving us our variation? That bass line. So as you can see, that's also coming up. Boom. Now, how can I add even more variation to this piano without complicating things? So as you can see, that dun, 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 that's our main melody. So what can we do? We could take this part out. We could simply bring our whole piano up an octave and we get something that sounds like this. Now, let's hear that with our vocal. Now in the second half of the melody, what I do, I put the vocal down an octave. gives it a different feel. And yes, this vocal is in the second version, the second installment of my melodic MIDI collection. Make sure you check it out. Now let's get to the drums. So with the drums, I decided to keep it simple as we have been talking about simplicity. My 808 to follow the bass line. Very simple. I'm not even gonna try to rap, but listen, you know this is that sound. This is how you deconstruct things and then remake things in a similar style without necessarily copying. Both this MIDI and this vocal chop will be available free for you to download in the description below. Make sure you check out that Melodic MIDI Collection Volume 2 beta version so you could get a free trial just to see if you like it or not. The last principle we're going to explore is bassline progressions. Now, I'm no music theory expert, but I do pay attention to the bassline progressions artists use. On my turn, there were some interesting progressions used in the melodic songs. For example, one of my favorite songs on the album was the song All In. In that song, Quay Global uses a bass line that I've never heard another rapper use to date, not even Lil Baby again, but it is beautiful. All right, let's listen. Dun, 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 dun.
Run around with that mask trying to figure out what my cousin doing. Prison with the Migo, found out they was selling bricks.
All right, let's see if we can make something with this type of bass line. So I created a melody earlier using that same, just repeating. And now I'm going to add a bass line to it, see what it sounds like. Now, what else can I do with this? I can change the bass line. As long as the notes are in the scale, I can basically move around these notes wherever I want them to create another bass line. So I could go. Now, as you're experimenting with these different bass lines, you may hear that some sound better than others depending on the type of melody that you made. Experiment with starting with the bass line and then creating a melody based off of that. Creating interesting bass line patterns can really give your music a whole different vibe and set your beats apart from others. It's Nile Waves. I hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, make sure you check out the Melodic MIDI Collection Volume 1 and download the beta version of the Melodic MIDI Collection Volume 2 because that's coming out very soon. Wavecreator.audio. Peace. See you next time.